Okay, we are live. Welcome to the Easy Path Project live stream. I'm Michael. I'll be your host. Tonight, we're talking about, um, this is what we're talking about. Why being interested is 10 times more powerful than being interesting to a woman. I kind of confused myself because I was just sitting here looking at this chart. I don't know if you saw it, but this is actually what we're going to be talking about tonight. What men want to hear versus what men should hear. And so I put this in because a couple of the slides are going to be about paying attention to your woman. If you're interested in her, she's going to be interested in you. It's reflexive. Anyway, that being said, let's talk about the preview. Okay. Uncovering your natural confidence frees you from anxiety and awkwardness. When you focus on growth, women naturally gravitate to your energy, and you'll communicate better, enjoy deeper intimacy, and create lasting trust. Um, yeah, all of these things were all included in that one little chart. I'm going to dig into that some other night, but not tonight. Tonight, we're going to just be skimming the surface of this. So, what men want to hear versus what they need to hear. Men are often drawn to information that promises quick, easy results and immediate gratification when it comes to attracting women. This aligns with their tendency to hunt quickly and dislike waiting. They are interested in techniques for sexual success and getting laid. Many men desire to use influence to get with as many women as humanly possible. There are countless courses marketed towards sexually or emotionally frustrated men, promising to turn them into Don Juan or to achieve sexually addicted harems. Yeah, actually, when I very first came across these um, pickup stuff, it was actually really quite funny. Like it was in the back of like girly mags like Penthouse and Playboy and stuff. But it would be these guys like Ross Jeffries selling his NLP courses on how to pick up women or how to, y- using neuro linguistic programming, which is a form of hypnotic language. It's an offshoot of hypnotism. Anyway, and then there were, all these pickup books and stuff, and they were all pretty cheesy and or just out there. And it just speaks to the nature of men. We just want to get laid. We want to get laid with as many women as possible. And it really is very effective on men who are sexually or emotionally frustrated. In fact, you'd think that maybe some of these people are taking advantage of you. Um, it pays to be discerning. You can go back and watch all of my uh, live streams so far and determine whether I've got your best interests at heart or not. Okay, the next thing they look for is methods that promise power and control over women. These courses claim to offer power and appeal to the fantasy of having many sex partners. They promise to teach men hypnotic sexual systems to effectively turn a woman into a sex slave. It's just kind of funny because, like, I actually started down this path um, for some personal hypnotism that I'd actually taken, and so it was for body stuff. And so I found a hypnotist who actually sold me a very expensive cassette tape. That's was how far back this was. I was quite young, and it allowed me to actually hypnotize myself into a relaxed state. And so I thought, well, this is really quite interesting. And like I said, some of the initial pickup stuff that was coming out was all about hypnotism and, um, about how to kind of trick women, how to manipulate women into coming around. And you don't actually have to do that. Like I said, um, if you are just, if she digs you, I mean, you're set, right? You're going to have all the sex slave woman you want or more. I mean, one woman is a good place to start. Anyway, but the hypnotic patterns that I've learned and used are mostly therapy stuff like NLP, like helping people deal with personal issues and such, um, which is why I talk about that a lot. Another thing they look for is superficial gimmicks and secrets. Seduction gurus sell invincible systems and secrets at a high price, which men flock to. They might advise using magic tricks or mentalism to get a woman's attention. And so there are a couple things there that I thought were funny. First of all, magic tricks. That's what that guy Mystery was known for. The pickup artist guy about 20 years ago or whatever. But I consider that magic tricks and palm reading and all that crap. I mean, it can be funny, but it's performing monkey routines, and I'm not a big performing monkey, although I am entertaining, and I suggest you get to be too. Like I said, mentalism. The idea, like a lot of therapy, basically is mentalism, in the sense that it gets you to transform yourself from one mental fixture or whatever to something different. And so when it does that, I mean, it is an actual movement of your mental state or whatever. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I just thought it was funny. Okay, this is a real good one. The magic bullet technique. What's the one line I can use to start a conversation? And the answer is hello. Tell me three things to text her to guarantee a date. Um, I don't know because I just got ghosted the last time I sent a text, so I'm not the guy to ask about that. Let's see. What's a body language trick that projects instant confidence? Look the girl in the eyeball. Um, is there a specific way to flirt that always works? Look her in the eyeball. If she's into you and you have a steady gaze, you're staring into her eye and you maintain it. Like you're going to push buttons in her brain that she could be pushed. Try to teach you guys this stuff. Anyway, but the reason why this stuff is so popular, all of these types of questions on Reddit or whatever, it is because it's simple, actionable, and requires no prior work. It treats attraction like a video game where knowing the right button combination leads to a win. Yeah, like I said, before I would ever have one of my guys like actually just go out and approaching or whatever, or even being just out and about, like in that pickup mindset or whatever. Like we'd work on his internal stuff. We'd figure out where he was before he ever like learned a line or learned a pickup technique or whatever. Like, and that's really mostly all it took because people are generally cool. And the reason that they might not be cool is because they're carrying around a lot of crap that's holding them back from being cool. And once they get rid of that crap, uh, they can just be cool. And so I find that, you're putting the cart before the horse or whatever when you're trying to learn techniques and instead of working on yourself. But that's funny because, the fact is that a guy can write a book or put out a tape or whatever about all these techniques and stuff, and so guys will buy them up because they're sexually frustrated or they're otherwise frustrated anyway, and so they think they can buy their way to happiness instead of you know fixing themselves. Okay, the last one of the things they look for is the oversimplification of female psychology. Women only want alpha males. Just be a bad boy, and they all secretly want that. All women are attracted to insert single trait, such as confidence or money or dominance or humor. So I'll actually answer these. I am not an alpha male, and I've done pretty okay. Um, just be a bad boy. They all secretly want that. I would say yes. Evolutionarily, for whatever reason, women are drawn to bad boy guys. They like guys that they can't control. Like if a guy's a pushover, the girl won't want anything to do with him after a while. I mean, it's just evolution. It doesn't have anything to do with her. She could want to be with you, but if you don't push her buttons, she's not going to be with you. And then, yes, women want confidence. They want money. They want dominance. They want humor. Um, Confidence. I mean, all women want a confident man. They want a leader. Um, Money. She wants to know that you can take care of her if you put a baby in her. Dominance. She doesn't want to be able to push you around. And humor. She wants to have a good time around you. She wants to have fun. Anyway, but so the idea is that this oversimplification idea reduces a diverse and complex group of people called women into a predictable monolith. If all women want the same thing, then there's a single key that unlocks everything, and a man just needs to find it. Um, well, I mean, I'm telling you, like the keys to unlock everything. Um, but part of the reason why I have my White Knight Wednesdays, where I talk about things from a women's perspective, is because a lot of guys do think that all women are this or all women are that, and you know how ridiculous that is because you know if you heard some woman say all guys are, then you'd be the first one to stand up, and you're like, I'm not like that. So why would you expect women to be that? Okay, so are you getting value from this video? If so, please leave a like, leave a comment, definitely leave a comment. Like I said, I'm flying blind here. I want to get some input from you fellas. Anyway, and if you like the live stream and the stuff I'm doing here, definitely subscribe and turn on the notifications um, so that you should be notified whenever I go live. Okay, now we're getting into the home stretch. So we just talked about, what men want to hear. Next, we're going to be talking about what men should hear. Yeah, okay. I think I did it right. Maybe. Yeah, okay. So effective and healthy attraction stems from genuine qualities, self-respect, and a deeper understanding of human nature rather than manipulative tricks or inflated self-perception. What men should hear includes. Oh, okay, well, that's why I put them in the wrong order. How funny. Okay, genuine qualities that attract women. Okay, so maturity, responsibility, and confidence. Women are more attracted to men who act responsibly and maturely and act like men. They prefer a strong, dominant man who is a leader but not domineering. So there's actually a lot to unpack here. The first thing is that you always hear it, how women don't like guys who are like totally into their hobbies, or who don't, or guys who play video games and all this kind of stuff. Like, women are evolutionarily, if that's even a word, designed to like a certain type of man or whatever, and a man that kind of acts like a kid still, while, while like youthful, uh, lighthearted, good stuff, right? That's the kind of stuff that women like. But if she thinks you're like a little kid or whatever, um, that's not gonna that's not gonna stick. And that also comes like the part with the strong dominant man. It's like it's a nuanced kind of thing. You need to stand up for yourself. You need to um, to be strong and not give in to her crap. Um, but don't be like overbearing. Don't be a dick. Anyway, like I said, all this stuff, everything is like on a spectrum, and it's different for every man. It's different for every woman, and like you got to just work to find, who it is that suits you. And that's actually what we're going to talk about tomorrow night. We're going to get back into the explore space, and that's one of the slides I've already started putting together today that I'll have to make sure I put in order. Whoops. Okay. Emotional understanding and connection. Women are emotional creatures and process words through both brain hemispheres, making them susceptible to emotional language. Therefore, men should listen closely to women, take time to learn who they are, and understand their emotional world. Okay, so this is another opportunity for you to think about yourself. Like, let's say if a girl, was interested in you and she listened closely to what you said and she took time to learn who you are and she understands your emotional world. Like, you'd think that's a special girl, right? Okay, so let's flip this and say this is the exact same stuff that a woman likes. Like, she wants to, um, know that she's more than a easy pickup for one night or whatever. Y- or whatever. I mean, and so you've got to understand what she wants and understand how to give that to her. Like I said, a lot of the problems that guys have with relationships and stuff is because they don't think about this stuff. And so, you know, I've been lucky enough to experience a whole bunch of this stuff, you know, in different capacities. And so I just happen to be very aware of it. And that's why I keep bringing that up to you guys because it's just so prevalent. In the first part, that I actually edited myself the other night. Last Friday night, I did a live stream, but I didn't post it. I've actually deleted it since. But it was talking about some more unusual stuff that you need to know about, like women's brains and how they process things and stuff. And I thought, that's not the kind of stuff I want to share with you guys yet. We'll work on that. But I do have that in the in reserve if I need to. So let me know. Okay. Respect and value. Women love to be admired for their looks, but also they like to be told how valued they are and respond to words of appreciation. Genuine compliments, acknowledging something special about her as a person can be very effective. Okay, well, we were talking earlier about like, super quick fixes or easy things or whatever. Like, let's say you see a girl and you can't think of anything to say that, you don't have your lines prepared or whatever kind of ridiculous stuff you might have thought you had to use. Just look for something about her. Like, one thing that I notice a lot of times is like a girl's fingernails. Like, if she spends time grooming on little stuff like that, or like, or maybe some of her accessories like her earrings or or her shoes or those kind of things. Like, I mean, if it's something that is legitimate, that you recognize and you notice, and that you can say, hey, I like your nails, or I like the way that your earrings match your necklace or whatever. I mean, there's a million little ways you can take that. um, just recently, I started up a conversation with a lady because I knew she was wearing one of those. Oh, aura, aura rings. That's one of those smart rings that uh, tests all your body stuff. And so I was able to start up conversation with her just over that. I mean, it wasn't me trying to pick up. I mean, um, but it was an opportunity to talk. And like I said, I'm always opening or always looking for opportunities to interact with people just for fun. I just like people. I mean, that's one thing that I hope you guys get out of this is that, like, being around people and having interactions with them can be really quite pleasant. Okay, authenticity and self-respect. This is another one of those things that guys should think about. Instead of pretending or performing, men should aim to be their true self and maintain their self-respect. They should avoid acting desperately or seeking a woman's approval. Cultivating an aura of exclusivity rather than being a low status people pleaser is advised. And so, like I said, I've got these just packed full of stuff. So, the first thing is we've talked about the 9 pillars, and you know, being your true self, being authentic, being you know, like understanding your self worth, having a positive self image, um, being optimistic, all of these kind of things, and that's what establishes you as a person that can be respected or that should be respected or whatever. And if you're trying to get somebody to give you attention or to earn somebody's approval or something, that's kind of weak. Like I said, girls call that ick nowadays, and it's really kind of low status. And a lot of times guys that have to act desperately or that are seeking a woman's approval, it's because they've got some kind of internal crap that they've got to deal with. There was something when they were young in their formative years or something along those lines that just totally jacked with them. And the thing is you can let go of that stuff. You don't have to keep carrying it around with you. I know that's easier to say than to do, but I mean, figure out ways to detach yourself, to disassociate yourself from that. I mean, whatever it is that happened in the past. It probably didn't happen like you remember because your brain wasn't even close to being fully formed. So you couldn't understand what was going on. Plus, you're got all those weird chemicals that go through a child's brain, and so it amplifies stuff and makes it easier to learn. But unfortunately, it makes it easier to learn the wrong lessons, you know. And if you don't have any understanding of that and you're still holding on to it, it's like, what for? I mean, yeah, get rid of that crap. Anyway, and also, like I said, if I have a game, like a game or whatever, like I like women to approach me or to chase me or to come to me in some form or another or whatever. And so generally, I'm more standoffish and kind of, I mean, I'll acknowledge the woman or whatever, but I won't like necessarily be a pushover. And I find that works really well. I am amazed at the quality of women um, that I interact with, like visually or whatever, just in the day to day thing. And so I think that building your mind up, like where you're the kind of cool guy that you're going to just naturally attract women, as opposed to the guy that has to be like a performing monkey and try to make people happy and whatever. Like I think that's uh, a lot more pleasant. I think that's my word of the night, pleasant. Okay. And here's another one of those ones where we're talking about, being a grown up or whatever, is financial stability and provision. Having a job and some money is important, as is the perception that a man can hunt and bring it back for dinner. So once again, there's a couple things. First of all, yeah, the fact that you can take care of yourself and everything. Um, I'm still having trouble doing that myself. Sometimes I get my head in little projects like this that aren't the most lucrative or whatever, but I make do, right? Like Charlie on Two and a Half Men when he became Charlie Waffles. Like he wasn't freaking out about it, like just something was going to happen. But that's why I'm also my age and single and never been married. Like fun to whatever. Anyway, the idea that is though that if you can be the provider, if you're going to be the guy that is the father of her children, and the man that's going to be taking care of her, then you've got to demonstrate that. And here's one of those things that's kind of crazy about nowadays is don't get it twisted. If she makes more money or has more stuff like property or cars or status or anything, like you are still the man. um the majority of the women I've gone out with probably have made more money than me, or had more stuff than me, or more status than me. And I embrace being like her accessory or whatever, or being her toy, her consolador, right? Yeah, I don't get all weirded out if a girl is rich or powerful or whatever. I mean, good. Let's see how this goes. Anyway, but that's the thing for you to think about. It's like if you want to be a a provider, the head of the family, you got to think about what it takes to be the provider and the head of the family. If not, if you want to play games, yeah, that's whatever. Anyway, in essence, what men often want to hear caters to their immediate desires for sexual conquest and perceived power through quick, often superficial methods. What they should hear emphasizes the development of genuine character, emotional intelligence, and a realistic understanding of female psychology and needs, leading to more profound and lasting connections. And what's cool about this is like if you are all of these things, um, that the woman wants from you, she wants a strong character. She wants you to be mentally aware of her and empathetic and understanding and all of those kind of things. And if you have those things, you are going to get like all the sex that you could handle. Like she's going to love you to death. um I don't know how to say it any better. Like if a girl, if you are making her happy, she's going to make you happy. Uh, and it might not have been your experience in the past, but I think that if you're honest with yourself, maybe you weren't doing it right. You weren't going all in. um but like I said, if you're not dead and you're watching this video, then that's an opportunity to get started. Tomorrow, let's get back on the right foot and make it happen. Anyway, so what do you think? Please leave a comment. Like I said, I'm flying behind here. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about this, even if it's just something like "you're silly." Hey, tell me that too. I'd love to hear uh, what you think. Anyway, and if you know anybody who would enjoy this information, definitely. Um, hey, I can do that. Yeah. If you know anybody who likes to hear this stuff or who needs to hear this, please share it. Yeah, I wish that I'd heard some of this stuff when I was a kid. Um, like I said, I was real lucky as it was. But if I'd heard some guy talking like me right now, um, eh, I mean, maybe it's better this way. But you get to hear it, so hopefully you're going to do something about it. Anyway, and to wrap this up, so apply these principles and you will stop chasing validation and start attracting respect. This is how you build a connection that lasts. Yeah, like I said, all this stuff is fairly simple. Like if you just start working on cleaning up the stuff that's holding you back, the things that cause you to have a poor self-image, or that that you don't believe in yourself, or that you have trouble coping, or you have trouble expressing yourself. um, if you don't understand women or whatever, you don't understand yourself, you don't understand people in general, all these things you can work on it, and it all adds up like very quickly. You'll find that just making one little teeny tiny improvement here and one teeny tiny little improvement here will actually start to, all of it will start to lift up, and you'll start to feel a lot better surprisingly quickly. Like once you start to apply these things and you start to get into the mindset and you start to gain some traction, you start to get some feeling, that, hey, this is actually working. This is gonna take me to where I want to be. Like once you get to that level, like it's really gonna be awesome. Okay. And so we wrapped up another night, I do believe. Anyway, so we've changed the live streams. I had been doing them Monday through Friday around 7:30 p.m. Central, but now they are around 9:30 p.m. Central. And hopefully you can join in and take part and participate and all those other things that involve you showing up for the live stream and typing in some comments. Anyway, but until that time, make sure that you check out the replays in the live stream playlist. Uh, all the shows that you haven't seen yet, you can catch up, and like I said, let's get on the right foot. Anyway, so thanks again for hanging out, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Take it easy.